Okay, guys, welcome again for this webinar, private webinar on the new announcement about the PPP uh, program. And the thing that is new here is not about the PPP itself, because we know that the PPP exists since 2020. So the first people applied for PPP, it was back on March 2020. I know some people know about PPP right now. PPP has been there for quite almost, yeah, almost a year now, because this is March is coming in a few days. So
2019.
2000, yeah. So yeah, the PPP has been there. It's a program that helps people to get the money, a grant. They call it a PPP loan, but it's a grant because some people here know that their money was already forgivable. So they give it to you as a grant, as a loan, because they say they want to, they want to find a way to give it to people. Otherwise, everybody's just going to line up and take it. They say, okay, this is a grant. Now, once you take a grant, they say, okay, use it like this, pay yourself with the money, pay for your electricity bill, pay for your phone bill, pay for your rents, pay for your this. They don't have to pay back. The only reason you should pay back is if you take the money, you save it somewhere. It stay there until the expiration period, which is 8 or 24 weeks. So if you put the money there, of course, they're going to want you to pay it back because you were not in the need in the first time. Okay. So if they give you the PPP money, you take it and you put in the bank account because you're going to send it to Africa or to Asia or to whatever it is. No, you're going to pay it back. Otherwise, that means you didn't need the money in the first place. You have to use it. And it's easy to use it because everybody spend money. It's just to change the way you pay for your expenses. How do you usually pay for your phone? Just instead of using your bank account that you were using to pay for your phone, use this bank account where you put the money. Just as simple. And then they say you can pay yourself. You there we got the money to pay yourself. You can pay for your rents. Just write a check to the bank account that you put the money in. Then you pay your bank for your rents. You don't have to pay back. So now, you know that this program actually expires on March 31st. Some people may not even know. And what is new here is that with this program, a lot of big companies have been there and getting all the money. And thanks for the new president who stepped in and said, you know what, we have been abusing those small businesses. And 90% or like 99% of business owners in the US are small businesses, actually, 99%. That's what they talk about the 1%. The 1% has everything. So can 1% even hire everybody? No, right? So 99% of small business or the business in the US are small businesses. And 98% of businesses in the US hire less than 20 people. That means you have 98% of all the businesses, they hire less than 20 people. And that is the population demography that the president has targeted to start to help. So he said, you know what? You have been abusing those little guys. They apply, they never respond them because they don't care about them because they don't. When you go to the bank to borrow the money, if you're eligible for 5,000, the bank will spend the same time to process, to review and do everything the same way that somebody is asking for $500,000. So anytime the bank processes a loan, it's a sales, it's a business to the bank. But now, if you come in, you are eligible for, I don't know, 3,500. Now you're gonna be calling them, texting them, calling them, sending email, and the same time, another company that's eligible for 500,000. Who are they going to pay attention to? Just tell me. They're going to pay attention to the people who are going to be eligible for $500,000 because the bank that issued the money, it will build interest. That means when they give $500,000 out, they're going to have interest on it. You are having $3,000. How much interest they're going to have on your money? No. So that's the reason why some people we may be on the back when it comes to even the SBA. everything is the same. Whether it's the ELJ or PPP, is more likely the reason. That's also the reason why somebody will tell me, oh, my bank told me that, okay, I'm eligible for PPP. I said, what's your bank? They said, TD Bank. I said, are you serious? So do you think the CEO or any lender over there at TD Bank is going to pay attention because I know how much money you make, how much you'll be eligible? Do you really think it's going to pay attention to you to be receiving $5,000 or $6,000? So yes, that's the point. That's why you guys have to think twice when you do a thing. Of course, those banks, they are not sending the email to you. They broadcast the email. It goes to all of the contacts. Of course, you're one of the members, one of the customer. So the email going to go to, but it's not addressed to you. It's not for you. That's the reason why we, as a CPA accountant, a tax professional, we went there and tried to look for other lenders that are smaller and that can actually pay attention to, smaller people who are put for less money, like 10,000, 2,000, 3,000, or 50,000. Yes, and I was saying that the president actually yesterday on one of the announcements on the TV, I think it was on the executive order because I don't think he went through all the process of the lawmakers. But the point is that he was starting tomorrow, Wednesday. That's all the, who is talking? So he wants that they change the way of doing things. First of all, the first big thing here is that he wants that from tomorrow, Wednesday, and for the next 14 days, we only process business and PPP for business owners, small business owners, self-employed contractor, anyway, any business owner who has less than 20 employees. So that's the big thing to me. Because I know people here who apply, we submit the PPP, but then they still never receive the answer. Why? Because where they receive or the person assigned or the department the money was assigned to, they have other priority. But if now everything becomes the same, they're gonna treat people equally. Okay, so that was a big thing to me, to know that from tomorrow and for 14 days, they will only be processing PPP for business owner who has either no employee, when you're self-employed, don't have employees, right? Or have less than 20 employees. Then the big thing now is what? Is that they are saying that we are going to change the way of calculating your eligible amount. That means they're going to change the way of calculating what is called AMP. I don't know if I'm able to share the screen here. Let me see if I can try this. Okay, I don't know if everybody can see this. So the AMP is the key, okay? So all the people I work, all my associates, every time when they just start this, I say, what is the AMP? When you look at the document, what's the AMP? The AMP is your average monthly payroll, okay? Your average monthly payroll is what? That's the key to actually be eligible for PPP. So I most of the time I tell people, and I'm gonna tell you, the AMP comes from what? If you have employees, they will add the number of employees that you have and how much money you pay them during the month. They're gonna divide it by the number of employees to figure out how much you pay on average. They say average monthly payroll. That means if you have 4 employees, you pay the first employee $10,000. You pay the other one $5,000. You pay the other one $3,000. This is a month. You pay the other one $2,000. What is your AMP right here? Your AMP is this amount. It's 20, I think so.
Yeah, 20.
Divided by what? By 4.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your AMP here? 5,000, right?
Yes.
So your AMP here is 5,000. Basically, that's what it means, the AMP. If you have 5 employees, you pay every person different amount. They add everything, they divide by how many employees you have. This is AMP. Now, when they go to the AMP, what do? They multiply by 2.5. Okay, so if you have the 4 employees here, and you pay them different amount monthly. Some people are really big employee, you pay them 10,000, but some people are so low, you pay them 2,000. But on average, you pay them 5,000. So they're gonna go to the 5,000, they're gonna time it by 2.5, okay? So what will be the 2.5 of this, all of this? The 2.5 of this, so the 2.5 of 5,000, let me get the pencil back. Where's the pencil? Some people are still trying to get in. Okay. So the 2.5 or the 5,000 is what? It's basically, what's the calculator? 5,000 is basically 12,500. That means you are eligible for 12,500. This is what it means, okay? This for people who have employees, but not all the people have employees, right? Not everybody have employees. So that's the reason why now, if you don't have no employees, how do you do? That means you are a self-employer, or maybe a business owner, you have an incorporated business, but you are the only employee of your business. I'm not talking about driver, Uber driver. I'm talking about you have a restaurant, you have a hair braiding salon, you have this, you have that, but you are the only employee or the only owner of the business. That means you don't pay nothing, no employee money to no employees. So how do you do at this time? At this time, what you have to do is what? Is that they are going to people are still getting in. Wow. At this time, if it happens that you have, maybe you have no employees, what is going to happen is that they are going to,
tell people to mute themselves.
Yes, please, you guys
tell people to mute themselves. That's so rude.
That's mute.
We want to listen to what Russell is saying.
That's true. Has to mute. Okay. If somebody wants to talk, you can just raise your hands, right? It's easier. Yeah, please. It's easier to raise your hands, and then you just get, I will give you the floor so you can explain what you need. Okay. Now I was explaining that in case you don't have no employees, what is going to happen here is that they are going to look at your what is called net income on your Schedule C, right? Because if you have a business, you have an LLC, you are only employees, the money of your business will go into your business, your taxes. Or in your taxes, you can find it on what is called Schedule C. On the Schedule C, you will have what is called gross sales, and you also have the gross or the total expenses, and you have the net. Okay. So I'm going to go into, and then you have a net. What happened is that your net income is total sales minus total expenses. If your net is actually $20,000, if your net is $20,000, what happened here is that they're going to divide this $20,000 by 12 to figure out your AMP. We see coming back to the AMP. So your new AMP is what? Now is $20,000 divided by 12. So your AMP here is only 1,666. So this is your AMP right here. Okay, they give you 2.5 of your AMP times 2.5. So you are eligible for 1,400 and 4,166. Okay, so this is your eligible amount right here. I have a message. Yes, so if you have no employees, I was saying, if you have no employees at all, they're going to consider you as your only employee. That's the reason why they're going to consider your line 31 as the basis to find your AMP. I just told you that your AMP, when you have employees, is the sum of all your employees, or how much you pay to all your employees during the month. You divide it by number of employees, you get your AMP. Now, if you don't have employees, you're the only one, they're going to look at your net, which is like look like your profit. They're going to divide it by what? They're going to divide it by 12 to figure out the AMP. They're going to time that AMP by 2.5. Now, what happened is that most of the time, business owners, especially self-employed, a lot of business owners in general, right? And most of the time, self-employed and contractor and stuff, Uber driver, when you are making money, at the end, you have what is called write-off. You have to write off expenses, okay? You have to write off expenses. What does this going to mean? This does just mean that if you are, you make, for example, you can make like $70,000 as a gross. I'm taking the case of an Uber driver. At the end of the year, you are not paying taxes on the $70,000. You are paying taxes on the net. The net is down here. How do you get to the net? You're going to claim maybe $50,000. When you claim $50,000 as expense as write-off, you pay your car, you have gas, Uber actually charge you fees. You eat, you wash your car, you have car freshener. You guys know how when I share the link with you to come up with all the expenses. Okay, at the end you get to $20,000 here. So we just saw that if you have $20,000, your eligible amount will be around $4,000 only. Right? Now, imagine that they are going to consider this amount instead of this amount to figure out your new AMP. Do you guys even see the difference?
Yes.
Yes, that is what it's going to mean now. What does this also mean? It means that a lot of people here were having net loss. Like if you have $70,000, but your expenses are actually 75. Okay, if you have $70,000 and your expenses are actually like 75,000. This is your expenses right here. This is a net loss. Then you are eligible for a negative amount for PPP. That's the reason why I told some people, you are not eligible for PPP because you have a net loss. Everybody think, how much am I going to get? Am I going to get $20,000? Am I going to be 20? I say, when I look at your thing, your net is negative. Like, I don't even know how you're going to even get $1 out of it. Okay. Now we change it. We say you're going to use line 7. Line 7 of the Schedule C. What is the Schedule C? Line 7 of the Schedule C is actually, if I can share my screen here instead. Okay. Let me share what is the Schedule C with you. This is the Schedule C right here. This Schedule C, normally what happens is that you put all your information here. You put your cells here, right? You put everything that goes with the cell, blah, blah, blah. And you have a gross sales right here, line 7. And you put all your expenses right here. Then you come up with the total expense. Now you have a net income right here. This is a line 31 that we were actually using to figure out the AMP for people. Starting tomorrow, that's the reason why today I didn't process or I didn't submit. I didn't hit the submit button with all of my customers and all of my team. That's why I told my team, do not submit no return, no PPP today. Even though it was already in the process of being submitted, we upload all the supporting documents. So tomorrow, we are going to redo again, maybe. Okay, if there's a way to go back and redo it, I'm going to redo it and change the way of calculating the AMP. And that's the reason why I say it's really important that people watch this. That means if you have 50,000 right here. If you have 70,000, I just showed you earlier. That's the expenses. And here you have the total, that's his income. You have the total expenses here as 15. Or maybe 75 because you make it, you spend too much money. Then it's supposed to be a net loss. You're supposed to have
Mr. Raja.
Yes.
To cut it short, I think we are using the gross income, right?
Yes, you are using not the gross sales. Your gross income is different. That is gross sales when it comes to business. Your net income is, your gross income is when you take all of this number, you put them in your taxes. You are using your gross sales. Maybe that is what you refer to as a net, as a gross income. Yes, that is what we are considering now. Okay, so that's what we are considering now. It means that when I'm, I have been sending you guys the link to say claim your expenses. I'm gonna share the link I've been share with people. I will say, oh, can you put your expenses here, right? Let me open something here. And test.
But for us, I never received that.
But you never express the request, right? So
I spent the request.
Any person who say, okay, listen, how can I get the PPP? The first thing I say, I send it to them. And I always tell them, if you are trying to get the money from an institution, do not understate your income. Even though it's an income, it was, higher income somewhere, nobody knows it. I tell everybody, claim your income. And this is the proof, actually. I didn't know that the law is going to come up to say, you know what, we're going to focus on the income you claim as a gross. Franklin.
Yes.
I told you that many times, right?
Yes.
And you said, I have this money that nobody knows.
that is what we were arguing with Nana Poku about it.
I told you that over here, you put whenever you try to get money from a financial institution, put as much as sales as you can. The sales is not the net. You have to know that. Because they will actually ask you, once you provide all the sales, they will ask you, what are the main write-off? What do you spend? Like if you're a taxi driver, how much do you spend on gas? They're going to ask you about all of those questions. They're going to ask you about that. So the first thing, you are not talking to the IRS. You have to know that. You're talking to a company who wants to give you money. So if I'm going to give you money and you don't have money, I won't give you money, or I will just give you money at the level of the money that you have.
Yeah.
Right? So
you like pizza. Okay.
Yeah, whoever just got into the meeting need to mute himself, please. When you get in, try to mute yourself. Yes. So yeah, this is the point here. So they are focusing on the gross income instead of the net. So whenever you are going to be here, when we are going to do your thing, over here, all the information that you put here, we also have recap expenses here, because the money you put here, once we remove all the expenses, sometimes a lot of people on the what we call income statement, because income statement is when you put together the income and the expenses, they come up with a very low, net income. And that's the reason why I was telling some people, okay, you have a net income of maybe $15,000. They're like, oh, so I'm going to pay taxes on $15,000. No, I don't feel I'm going to pay tax on $15,000. So you're going to reduce your net income. That means you're going to claim more expenses. When you claim more expenses, what happens is that, yes, you reduce your taxable income, but you also lose on the eligible amount of the PPP. So this is a really turning point. Now, to me, it's a big deal. Why? Because a lot of people out there have a business, but they don't know that they have a business. That's the point. Okay? If you are open an Amazon store right there, okay, you saw maybe 4,000 or 5,000 stuff or 10,000. Some people may not even claim that in the taxes. Or maybe you are doing something on the site, in the community, you are making some money, but that money is not, I don't know why am I having an echo? So that money is not controlled, it's not traced. Nobody knows that I made that money. So you don't want to claim that. Guys, I don't know why this is doing this. It's like I can hear myself. So basically, what I was saying is that now you have to claim any order, because this is the point. Once you claim an income, it doesn't mean that you paying taxes on it. It means that they're going to use that basis to give you the PPP, which was actually what they were using to give you the EIDL. So now they're going to use, it's basically the same base as the PPP. The EIDL was the one that was focusing on the nets, on the gross. They call it gross profit, but it's basically the gross income, the gross receipt minus what is called cost of goods sold. Okay, it's the gross receipt minus what they call cost of goods sold. And you can see it on this table right here. This is the gross receipt. You see over here, cost of goods sold right here, number 4, cost of goods sold. Yeah, but most of the time, cost of goods sold is 0 because nobody is tracking, you know, in and out, you know, to calculate the cost of goods sold. Most of the time, cost of goods is 0. So most of the time, the gross is also the gross profit. That is the base calculation of the EIDL. Now it's also the base calculation of the PPP. That is a big deal. That means it doesn't matter how much you are doing. You can just claim those money and put in your taxes. Whether it's a $50,000, then $50,000 becomes a basis for your PPP. It was supposed to be that if you claim $50,000, you're also going to claim, and also you also claim, let's say $20,000 as a loss, as a expense. Then you have $30,000 eligible for PPP, but you are paying taxes on $30,000. Now you can even claim $50,000, okay, and claim $55,000 expenses. That means you have a $5,000 loss, but the base of your calculation is still $50,000. And this is the big deal. Okay, so I'm going to stop at this point and see if you guys have a question about what I've been explaining now. Any question?
Yes, I have one, Russell.
Yes.
This is Linnell. What about the PPPs that were already put in? That was already submitted.
That is a big question, right? That's a great question. Yeah, because a lot of people also have already submitted the PPP, right? We still have to know how they are going to reconsider the people who submitted the PPP already, because a lot of people have submitted the PPP already. Because I told them you have to go quick, because you know whenever the money runs out, it's over. Even though they say the program ends in March, whenever they say there's no more money, then the program ends that day. That's the reason why I was advising people to hurry up to go there and apply for the PPP. Okay, but now they came in and say, you know what, we're going to help the people, this type of people. If you are among those people and you didn't receive it, and I mean, maybe you're not going to take advantage of this new way of calculating the PPP, then we're going to see how they're going to do it. If they're going to, there's going to be an adjustment, or maybe they're going to ask you to reconsider if you want to or maybe they're going to ask them people to reapply again. That's what I'm thinking, because a lot of people are going to be disadvantaged about this. If you apply already, and maybe you have your net was only $5,000. If you apply, your net was only $5,000. Now, okay, over here you have $70,000, and you have 65 expenses. Then your net was $5,000, right? And then we apply your PPP based on $5,000. Then you get how much? Maybe 1,200, right? Compare 1,200 with $70,000 if they have to consider this as a base. So this is a really big deal for the people who are doing businesses and people who are doing a self-employed, do business on the side, and they then report their income. It's a time for you guys to come back and report it in your taxes. Okay, and that's the reason why from tomorrow we're going to increase our, the people working just for the two weeks, at least for the first week, to accept the maximum amount of people who are going to be in the need of this. The only thing when I say that everybody is eligible for this is why, because Actually, if you are sitting home and you say, okay, this is the side business that we're doing, nobody knows whether you are doing that business or no, right? When people do business, they don't report it. Nobody knows they were doing business. That means whether they were doing business or no, nobody knows. So if you are buying something and posted them on Facebook, nobody knows that. Facebook is not a market, like it's not Amazon. If you are making stuff selling to the community, nobody knows that. You are the only person who knows what you're doing. Then we can actually come and say, okay, this is the business I was doing. I'm claiming $20,000 of it. These are the expenses that are incurred to do that business, right? And everybody, just like people have many jobs, so many people in the US also do a lot of things on the side. And I see, and I know, because when I prepare taxes, what are all the source of income? I ask so many times, people will say, yes, this is my other job I do, but most of the time they don't even issue W-2. This is my other job, this is my side hustle, yes, they don't report it. It's a time for you guys to now come back and put it on the paper so that you could be eligible for this money. And what about the people who actually have business? You have a business that is already incorporated, right? That means from the government perspective, they know that you are making money with that business. You are the only one who knows that you're not making money on the business. So if you are smart enough, you have a business, and you know that depending on the state, some state is yearly, some other state is every 2 years, you have to pay taxes on the business that you created. So it's actually the time to actually claim the activity on your business, because if your business actually stays for too long, you're supposed to close it. Now, claiming something on your business will actually even help you, okay? And you have to do that within the 2 weeks window, because after the 14 days, they're gonna open the door to all of these bigger companies to jump in back for the next 2 weeks before the program ends, okay? That's the reason why I say I have to share this. I have to share this with the people who are really in the need of taking advantage of this opportunity right here, okay? And how it's going to work? If you already know how you're going to do it, that's good. But if you want us to help you, we have a simple process that we are doing here. What do we do? The first thing, somebody said I never sent that link to him. These are the simple requirements that we are going to want you to fulfill. And a lot of people on this Zoom right now completed that process already. It's just about completing your what I call your transaction tracker. Transaction tracker. That's the first thing, and that's the first thing. And yesterday I had a meeting yesterday, and people also saw why I was talking about the transaction tracker. Okay, I'm not going just for 1 second. Yesterday we went through the process of claiming the 10,000 grants. I have a couple of people here who were here yesterday. Everybody who applied for the EIDL is eligible for those 10,000 grants. That means if you missed yesterday's meeting, which is now going to be on the paid webinar, you are going to lose that 10,000 grants. Why? Because you are going to receive an email. First of all, if you don't even know that you're supposed to receive an email inviting you to do that, you're gonna hear about the email until the program is expired. Even though you know that you should actually get an email and respond to that email to apply for your 10,000 grants, you won't know exactly how to complete it. And I went through that process yesterday, 1 hour, 20 minutes, a case study. And that case study will cost, I don't know, maybe $25 or $30 for people who want to watch it, to understand actually what they need to put in the application. Okay, just to let you know that sometimes when we go to this thing like this, it's because we want to help people. The people who assisted can actually even do by themselves, or if they still need help, they will understand what we are doing for them. Okay, so that's the point of me having this meeting right here with you guys, because I want you to know what you need to do. If you are doing by yourself, or if somebody is even doing it for you, even though somebody is doing it for you, you still have to understand what the person is doing for you. That's the point. That's why I like to explain about taxes to people. Some tax professionals will make you think the tax is like magical, right? They don't want you to understand nothing. They just tell you that, oh, you receive $4,000. You say, oh, whoa, that's good. Thank you so much. Last year I got 3,000, so I got 4,000 this year. Thank you. You are good guys. No, maybe you are actually eligible for $6,000. So he has to explain to you how you came up to get the $4,000. That's the point. Most of the time, I will tell my people, listen, you have this because of that. Listen, you work, they didn't even collect enough taxes. You have a dependent, but your level of income prevents you from receiving the full credit that your dependent should have given you. Sometimes I even show you what's the scale, how does it work. That's the point here. Over here, the first thing to do here is to complete this transaction tracker if you want us to help you. Okay, why? This transaction tracker, we used that yesterday when we were working on the PPP ERG at 10,000 grant. It's a very important metric, because the government wants to see how your business has been moving around during the COVID-19 period. Okay, that is why they want you to provide those 10,000 grants. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna try to.
Russell, I can barely hear you. So much noise in the background.
Yes, I'm trying to mute everyone. How do we mute all? Okay, I mute all. Okay, yes, but can you guys hear me at least? I hope you guys can hear me.
I can hear you now better.
Okay, when you talk and then you mute yourself back. Okay, so yes, so the point here I'm trying to make is that this transaction tracker, a lot of people will say, okay, I have my 1099, I can give it to you. I want you to come up with your expenses with this, because you can also come up with your expenses. Once you come up with this, you can also come up with your expenses. And your expenses are what are going to help you to pay less taxes. Even though you claim, a higher amount of income, your expenses will actually help you to pay less taxes. Let me go back here and find that data here. This is what I'm going to share with you guys. I'm going to put the link of this thing here in the chat of this webinar. The first thing you have to do is to put your expenses here. Some people will say, can you help me? You are the best person to do an estimate of what your business was, or what you think your business should have been if there were not COVID-19. So you have to put an expense here, put your income here, okay? If you receive money by card, credit card, or by cash, you put them here. You're gonna add them up right here, and you will be eligible to also claim expenses here, okay? So everybody, if you are self-employed, this is what you should do before you go to your tax professional. The first thing is because you know whether you even made an expense, you spend money on that expense or no. You're the first person to know, okay? Your tax professional doesn't know if you spend money on, I don't know, on car wash. Some people they don't wash their car. They don't know if you did this or if you do that. So you are the person to have the better estimate of what you spend the money on during the year. That's the reason why, even though it was not because of the COVID, because of this loan, you guys need to do this before you go to file your taxes, okay? If you don't want to do it monthly, then do it yearly. Monthly, to make a better estimate. You can say, okay, I spend around 1,000. But if I was to ask you, how much do you spend around every month? Maybe you can say 200. When I times 200 by 12, that is what? That is 2,400. But you were telling me that, oh, I think I spend around, maybe it's 1,000 if you want to take about yearly. But when you breaking down into months, you can actually have more idea of how much you spend your money, because you make money as a business owner, but you don't have that cash in your bank account. That means you spend all those money. Okay. So the first thing here is that I'm going to send this to you guys. This will be the first thing, the first step. Okay. Once you have that one, you're going to provide us with the driver license front and back. Those are all the components we need to prepare your PPP, like right now, or even tomorrow at 8 o'clock when we wake up. Then you're going to provide us with the January and February bank statement. You provide the January, February bank statement. If you have a business bank statement open on the business name, that's even much better. If you don't, because you are self-employed, you are allowed to also use your personal bank account. Okay, they want you to use different bank accounts for traceability, to know what, when you use the money, you know that it was actually business expense because you went there to remove that bank account to pay for all your suppliers and stuff. What is your personal account? You need to remember, let me see, I have 20 times the bank account. Where did the money go? You have to think about which money was business expense or which was personal expense. But if you have a business expense, whenever it's a business expense, you will just use your business account to do it. But if you don't have it, it's not a problem. We need to provide your January and February bank statement. Now, the third thing is the Schedule C. How do you come up with the Schedule C? We have to create your Schedule C. Okay, I just showed the Schedule C right here. Where was it? This one, right? This is a Schedule C right here, right? This is one Schedule C, right? So we're going to create this for you because you are going to complete this transaction tracker here. This transaction tracker here has what? It has the selling of your business. That means you have the name of your organization. You have the contact name, that means the owner, which is you. You have the EIN, if you have one. You have the business structure. Is it an LLC or a proprietorship? Is it a corporation? You're going to put over there. You're going to put your business activity. What is that? It's a restaurant. It's a nursing home. What is it? It's just a driving business. So you have to put your activity right there. All of this information. Once you have them. When was the business created? What is the address of the owner? Once you complete this form right here, you have 2 hours to know how much you are going to be eligible for. That's the reason why sometimes I tell people, take your time. Don't just come to the office or book an appointment to have us doing it at the same time. And I have people doing it. We book an appointment. Yes.
I have a question, please.
Yes.
Regarding the Schedule C that you're going to create. So that is going to be a Schedule C for 2020, or that is going to be a Schedule C that is not actually from IRS?
No. Which Schedule C?
The one you said you have to create a Schedule C.
No, we create a Schedule C to help you, because when you are now doing your taxes, this is what you are going to put in your taxes. Okay, when you have the Schedule C right here, you have a balance. You will have the balance on the Schedule C. On the Schedule C, you have a balance right here. Let me go back here. Let's say you claim, and the first thing, and that's the reason why I'm saying you are lucky if you haven't prepared your taxes, because you cannot do this if you file your taxes already. If you file your taxes, you just need to go by what is in your taxes. Okay, let's say you have 70,000 right here as an income, then you have here 65,000 as a gross, the total expense. You have the net. Your net is going to be 5,000. Initially, once we create this, we will now submit this to the bank. Okay, with the 5,000 net. Now, when you are filing your taxes, of course, you have to report this on your taxes. That is what I was telling to Nana Poku that day. You have to report this in your taxes to be compliant. Otherwise, if they ask for your taxes, they won't see nothing. And that is a fraud. They know a lot of people haven't filed their taxes yet. And they assume that you were doing this thing right here. They assume that you were tracking your income. Okay? They assume that you're tracking your income. We just use the information you put here to actually create your income statement, your net, your gross, your profit and loss statement, which is a document that your IRS uses. And once it's done, of course, you're going to translate this into your taxes. That means if you, whatever net you have here, you are going to have that net in your income tax that you are doing, and that you will be clear. Now,
okay, I understand. I've also had an experience where, like, I'm a cab driver. I make expenses on maintenance and other stuff that I have received at the end of the year to give it to my tax preparer.
yes.
Upon that, sometimes he calculates and then he says, your expenses is too much, so I'm gonna reduce it. Why, if I really make an expensive that I really pay money for, why did he have to reduce it? In order for me to make money or what? I on that grounds, I don't understand.
Okay, that is a technical question. Okay, and I have somebody here. He's on live here with me, and today we went through his tax preparation, and we actually went there and reduced his expenses. Okay, increasing expenses doesn't always help you. Sometimes it can hurt you. You have to track your expenses because in case you might need all of them. You have to trace your expense in case you may need all of them. Sometimes you may not need to use all your expenses. Yeah, that's true. And you can, if you have those tax questions, you can ask. Yes. So the main important thing you guys have to think about, tracing your expenses in the daily or weekly basis. Trace your expenses. You make $100,000. I have somebody making $120,000. His tax bill was, I don't know, $3,000. He begged me to help him to establish a payment plan. You make $120,000. You didn't pay taxes during the year. The people on the payroll, that means on the W-2, if you make $100,000, of course, they have collected maybe $15,000 out of your paycheck. Okay, you guys, if someone is making 100, he knows how much they collect out of his paycheck, right? Now, you made $120,000 cash, not taxable. Now your tax bill is $3,000. You're asking for a payment plan. That is like, you don't even know what you're doing. That means you don't know where to put the money. So basically what you should do here is to have a plan. When you trace your income, you trace your expenses, you see where the expenses are going. Some of the expenses should be allocated to the taxes during the year. Because when you pay tax at the end of the year, you are overpaying. Whenever your tax bill is 1,000 or more, they charge you penalty on it. Very few people know that. That means if you pay 1,200, your real tax was not 1,200, it was less than that. They charge you interest on it, not the change penalty. They call it underpayment penalty. You underpay your tax during the year. Everybody is supposed to pay his tax during the year. So if your tax bill goes to be up to 1,000, then they charge you penalty on it. And that's the reason why you have to use this. I'm gonna share this with you. Let me copy this link here, and I'll send you with you. Everybody, you know, once you receive this, you have to make a copy because it's a share link. You have to save it in your Google Drive, okay? So that you can actually use it for yourself. Otherwise, whatever you are putting on it is going to reflect in my computer. So I'm going to go there and share this with you guys, okay?
Okay, thanks.
I'm gonna share this with you. So the last thing or the next thing here is that We are going to create a Schedule C, and after a few days, you will receive an answer about your application. Okay, so I don't know if you guys still have a question. Is everything good?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah, everything's fine.
So how many people here applied already for PPP? How many people applied for PPP here already?
I
Who
did.
applied for PPP already?
I did.
Okay, who else?
I did.
Yeah, I'm saying because it helps us to actually also contact those people to express them what our customer have, express the concern about it. All of these things that you guys see here is because sometimes we as accountants, we report it to those government institutions. We say, listen, this is not fair for this or for that. They don't do it because they just want you to do it. They do it because we actually report that this is not fair, this is unfair, this is like this. That is the reason why they come back and consider some situation. So it's good, but if there's nobody who is in that situation, they won't consider it. That's why I want to know who applied already. So if you haven't applied, and how many people here have a negative net income? Who has a negative net income on 2019? Because you need to know, we were using two different set of numbers. We were using 2019 or 2020. That means when we came up to the situation like this, where the person has a net income of $5,000, we will go to the 2019 activity to look at his Schedule C. Maybe on 2019, the Schedule C was maybe $10,000. That is what we will use for him. We use the $10,000 instead. Okay. How many people here has a net loss on 2019? Or maybe a net loss in 2020, because some people filed the taxes already, or some people were actually thinking about filing the loss because you know they make less money with the COVID-19, didn't make a lot of money. They still have expenses, fixed charge. How many people is like that? I mean, they know that they made a loss this year. All of those people were not supposed to be eligible, basically. Okay, all of those people who knew that, okay, I made a loss. If you made a loss, that means you will not be eligible for the PPP because you have a net loss. Now they're changing the game in the middle of the of the battle. So they're changing the rules of the game in the middle. So you guys have to see how, if it still apply to you, act very quickly. That means what? If, of course, by tomorrow, people are going to jump because that is a million of new applicants. Okay, I know I have a lot of my customers who are not eligible. That's why sometimes we're just focusing on EIDL, because the EIDL just doesn't pay attention to the net. They just look at your gross. So now it's going to open the route to a lot of more people. So you guys have to hurry up if you want to be considered about this thing. If I was you, tonight, I will be able to figure out what are my expenses and what are my income. And the morning, I will have everything, because we are going to be the people that we put on hold. Tomorrow, 8 o'clock, we're going to start by them. After that, we're going to have to be working with the people who want to submit this documentation to us. This document right here, you complete this one. Okay, this is the first thing, because we use those numbers to create your Schedule C. And we have the Schedule C. We use it to figure out what is your net income, and what is your AMP, and what is your eligible amount. And those two are supporting documents. You have to provide this for them to identify you, basically. Okay. So who here was not gonna be eligible, and from what I'm saying, he think he might be eligible? Angela.
Yes.
Yeah. What about you? Were you eligible to apply for the PPP?
No, I wasn't before.
Why? For what reason?
Well, you told me not to file it because I didn't have enough income because I didn't have any staff.
Yeah. So now it doesn't matter your delivery of your income.
Oh, good.
It doesn't matter how much you will get something. It doesn't matter how much income it is. You will get something because whether you claim expenses or no, they're going to be based on your gross sales. And of course, you're going to come up with some type of expenses to actually cancel the effect of that income that you are pulling in your taxes, basically. Because
Okay.
when you claim income, you can also claim expenses. Income goes with expenses. Most of the time, you cannot make income without spending money, right?
Yes.
You cannot
Yes.
make income without spending money. That's the reason why people will say, oh, no, I made this money. No, I don't want to claim it my tax because it's going to make me pay more taxes. You pay that money. You don't want to claim it because you think it's not traceable. But once you put it back in, of course, you can now also come up with expenses, right? So you are not actually paying taxes on that money. You don't pay tax on the cost. You pay taxes on the nets. Now, they are not calculating your income based on your net because people try to put their net as low as possible. They are paying, figure out how much you're eligible based on your cost. And this is what I wanted as much as my people to know. Because let me tell you something, those other community right there, they are already aware of it and they are working on it already.
Yes.
Okay? Any other community, I don't want to tell the name of any community, but any other community, they are doing this thing right now. Sometimes they don't even have to meet on the meeting. They just send all the things that you have to do. You understand it directly. They say, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. And then before you realize, the money is over to the only one community. Okay? So that is also why I'm saying you guys have to share. Of course, I'm not going to share this live because it's going to be a pay live now. But you have to share by mouth to say, listen, there's an opportunity out there. Or if you want, you can pay and get into that. Watch this for a 5 minute. You will get a lot of information right there. Yeah, you are still sharing. You have to share the information because if I was not sharing the information, or some people was not sharing with me, because I don't have all the information. Sometimes they share with me. Sometimes I search, I find myself, but sometimes some colleagues, some other partner, they get, hey, Russell, what do you think about this? I say, wow, this is a big deal. I have to share with my people. This is why I share with you. I'm so busy to be on the TV. I don't even watch TV. If I go on the YouTube, on the internet, I'm looking for something specifically. So all of the information will come to me because one of my partner one of the professional group, he got an information saying, listen, what do you think about this? Do you think it can help your customer? I say, yes. Same thing when I have something like this, I say, are you aware of this? He say, yes. How can we do it? Yes, that's why you guys, you have a friend, you have coworker, you have family members. You know what they're doing. You know that they're doing something sometime on the back. Just tell them, sometimes what you do on the back, but then you do know it can make you be eligible for this. Yeah, tell them. Now, if they need more information, now they can come and see the information. And I explained to you guys how to do it. I mean, you have all the numbers. And yesterday, I explained it to you guys how to claim the 10,000 grants that you are going to be eligible if you apply for the PPP, the EIDL, sorry, the first time. This is the video right here. This video right here. This is a 1 hour, 20-minute video that we did yesterday. But of course, I'm not going to play right here because the people who attended, this is one of the guys, most of them were there, they are also here now. They know exactly what is going to happen, what need to pay attention to when they are actually filling up, completing this letter. What is the letter? The letter that invites you to actually, let me put this guy, this letter right here, invitation to apply. you guys should receive this letter right here. Everybody will receive that letter. Once somebody received them already, somebody completed them already. But if you completed that letter just by making the number up, chances are that you may have lost something, okay? And you may maybe lose this money. And that's the reason why I send the invitation on Facebook group, on WhatsApp to say, okay, we're gonna be having this meeting, okay? So yes, most of the time I will not have a meeting just to have fun, to talk about, the next big thing on the TV or so on. I will have meeting with the people because I think there is something I need to share with them. That's the reason why I will not do this meeting every day or most of the time, okay? You have this thing right here, okay? You have to know about what to put in the numbers. Once you put here, you're going to take you, ask for your personal information, Social Security. Now we take you somewhere where you have to provide your personal information, your financial information. And that is where this thing comes back to play. And I was explaining yesterday how this thing comes into play. This financial tracker, it has been very useful yesterday again when we were completing that thing. If you watch that video, which is going to be a paid video now, you will understand what I'm saying. That means you can actually do it by yourself. You won't even need me, because I explained how to get every single numbers that will go into that application right there. Okay. I don't know if you guys still have question before we stop this live, because I didn't even plan it to be that long. I said I was gonna send this. I don't know how. Can somebody send me a text message so I can see it and reply? Oh, but this is the chat right here. I was looking for it. So I'm pasting this link in the chat. You guys can just go ahead and copy it and complete it. Okay, you can complete it. I told you what you need. It doesn't matter where you go. Most of the lender is going to be the same thing. Complete it. If you want to use a different lender, go and use it. If you want us to use it to help you with that, these are the documents that you're going to complete and send it to us for us to actually help you with this program. Okay, so I don't know if I have almost 25 people here. So who thinks that he's going to take action on this? You can unmute yourself and say if you're going to take action on this, or you're still not sure how it works, even though we just explained everything. That means at this time, you should actually be able to explain to other people how this thing works. Yeah, if he wants to talk.
Yeah, Rasta, this is Franklin. With my honest opinion, I mean, like you said, when you are doing your taxes, you have to really understand what the tax preparer is doing. In order not to make any mistake to probably make you uneligible for the loan, I still be more confident to come to you to do it, for the simple reason that I understand what you're doing. You understand me? I think that is the best way to go about it. But I'm not going to sit home and think I can figure it out and probably go and mess it up, okay?
Okay. Yeah, if is here.
Yeah, hi, hi. Well, first, thanks for all the information that you keep providing to us, and since this pandemic has started. And so the first time I applied for the PPP, the bank that I applied through, it was actually my own bank. They found that I was not eligible because I had more loss than income for my real estate business. But now that you brought this up, I think I'm going to contact them and see, and see if they can reapply though. So
Yes.
thank you very much.
No.
And
Yes.
what else? In regard to the EIDL, The first time I applied for the EIDL, I got way less than the 10,000. But now that I look at your video, I went back and reapplied. But they responded to me telling me that I have already applied and received something for the EIDL. So now I'm a little bit confused.
But now, as you may also know, if you watch the two last video, not the three last, I said that if you receive the money already, you can apply for reconsideration, for increase. You can, if you receive the EIDL already, you can now apply for an EIDL increase. And within this Facebook group right here, I posted all of those information. These people, they blocked my Facebook today. I have to fight with them before they release it. I can show you the message here. Let me show you something, guys. Over here, you see that? Your account has been disabled. That is when I posted that I'm gonna have this live.
Do you have maybe a WhatsApp group for those people that are reapplying?
I don't have the WhatsApp group. We have the Facebook group. You have this Facebook group right here. This is the Facebook group, okay? Where all the people over here, you see PPP and EIDF fund, how to get it and what can you do with it?
Can I join the group too?
Okay, I'm going to copy the link and I'm going to share on this in this live right now. I don't even know how to find the people. Yeah, I just pasted the Facebook link, the Facebook group link. So the application for reconsideration, for increase, there are 3 types of different applications you can do now. This is the reminder because I said that on different email. I actually have a webinar like this just to explain the process. You can reapply if you were denied. And there are 2 ways. There are mainly 2 ways. There are many ways, but there are mainly 2 reasons why they deny people. They say unverifiable information. That means they say they cannot find the information. And for some people, I ask them to go even collect the transcript from the IRS by themselves and send it to them. And you have your, they say for loan and unsatisfactory credit history. And I also told them what to do. In some of the webinar, if you watch that, you go to the group, you will see one webinar where I'm explaining what to do if you are denied because of unsatisfactory credit history, or if you are denied because of, they can find your information. They say unverifiable information, okay? Now,
do you have bank that your company work with for the PPP, or do you encourage your the people that you talk to go with their own bank?
I think you came here a little late. You didn't watch the beginning of this live. I said that most of the bank are going to send letter to the customer to say, hey, you're eligible for PPP. Come and apply for PPP. I'm just repeating myself here, but I'm sorry about that. So, but the issue sometimes is that it takes longer for a big bank to process small eligible amount. Because you're eligible for $50,000. Somebody else is eligible for $100,000, $150,000. They're going to pay more attention to the people who have $100,000, $150,000 eligibility. Because why? Because they make more money when they issue $150,000 loan to somebody. They make more money on them than you who are eligible for, I don't know, 5,000 or 10,000. So that's the reason why sometimes it will take longer to actually be in process. But, you know, the PPP doesn't prevent you from applying with different land provider. Okay? That means you can apply with this lender, you can apply with this, you can apply with that. Whenever you receive the approval, automatically the other ones are going to be stopped on the way. You're not going to be receiving 2 PPP money with the same bank, with the same name, with the same everything. Once it's approved, they will just disregard all the other one. We have, yes, we have two main partners that we work with to get people receiving money. Last year, 2020, we were working with only one. So this year we added another partner into play to help people actually receiving money from two different sources. Yeah, basically. Yeah. And those are the information that, and sometimes when you go to the bank directly, they will ask you so many information that you don't even need. Okay, sometimes they will ask you some information, you don't even know how you're going to find it. But we can understand and say, you know what? In fact, this documentation will be good. Okay. Yeah,
with your bank,
sorry?
if I want to use one of your two banks, do they accept out-of-state people?
Of course. There's no such thing as an out-of-state or in-state. No, the bank is everywhere. The bank, they don't want to see, they just look at the document that assure you that you need to collect. We don't want to say if you're out of state or if you are in the state. Actually, you submit everything online. Everything with the COVID, everything is done online. Even your loan signature, when you have to sign the loan document, it's online. They have to verify everything, it's online. Your money is disbursed in your bank account without you even moving from your house. I mean, you don't even need to go to your bank.
So,
okay,
all this is this money is coming from the 900 billion package that was passed a couple of weeks ago, correct?
Yes. Exactly.
On the new 1.4 trillion coming, do they also have some other stuff in it?
Of course, they're going to adjust it. That's why I always ask people to be in the position of being a business owner. They always ask it. They're always going to adjust it. Who do you think they do that for? It's for the business owner in the first place. The business owner is the backbone of the economy. If there's no business, there's no economy actually. Okay, nobody's going to produce. Even though you have the money, what are you going to buy if there's nobody is producing nothing? You guys bet you are eating something. Let's say all the farmers, they don't produce nothing. What are you going to eat, even though you have $100,000? So this is how they want to maintain or sustain the economy, by giving money to business owners. And small business owners account for 99% of businesses in general in the US. So it's you. People receive the PPP the first time. They are receiving PPP the second time. Hopefully they may receive the PPP the third time.
That's not fair. We haven't even received one time.
Why didn't you receive the first time?
They told me that I had too many writing off for my little small business compared to the money I got in. So my income.
You understand why I was saying that sometimes claiming too much expense hurts you, right?
Yes, sometimes, yes. Yeah.
Now you can
understand.
Yes. Yes.
It looks as if we are elaborating on one issue right now. For his question to be answered, if he can please come to you, we need to follow up with what we are doing so that some of us have other things to do. You understand?
Okay.
Because he has his own personal questions, and he can come to you in private so that you can take it on for him. Other than that, we're gonna waste all this time, please.
Okay, I mean, I was also letting you speak because I didn't see somebody else with any other question. Yeah, so what is going to happen is that once you start the process, I'm going to share with you the video on how to continue, how to follow up, even though you will come back to us. Okay, I have one question here. You can go ahead. Olu, thank you.
It's not me.
No, it's Olu. I think it was Olu.
No. I don't have a question. I was agreeing with the gentleman.
Okay. So I was just saying that once you start the process, I'm going to share with you on what to do once you get approved, because those systems are step by step. Okay, a many stage system. So once you get approved with the PPP, then there are something that you need to do, like uploading your bank account, or for the other lender that we have, they will send you a micro deposit. They want you to verify to verify that they deposited the money to your bank account. Sometimes it's just a cent, a couple of cents. You have to come back and pull it back. And I also shared a video on how you can actually do it for you. And once you finish everything, you have to sign the loan document. Yeah, I also have a video that I dropped in the Facebook group to actually help you guys to be able to do the process, to do the follow-up. Or even if I do the follow-up for you, you guys need to understand what we actually did in the follow-up. Okay.
So just a last quick question. On the SBA website, Small Business Administration, do they actually have a specific link for EIDL increase?
No, there's no link. There's no EIDL link increase. It's an application. Like I said, I posted the application in the Facebook group on what to do to apply. There's no link. We don't use the link.
But okay. How do I, the first time I applied for the EIDL, I just went straight to the SBA website and I applied through there. It went through. I didn't have.
That is where everybody applies. Even though we help you, we go there to apply for you. Now the question is, what information do you put in there? That is what makes you be eligible for 1,000, eligible for 10,000 or 15,000, or be eligible for 50,000. I have someone who last time he was eligible for, they tell him he was eligible for 14,000. When I go through his financial, I say he was eligible for 120,000. And we went there to redress it, to fix it, so that he was able to receive the balance. So it's about what you put in there. It's there, it's a public information, right? And it's a public information. So everybody can go there to apply, to apply for. Now, the increase, you don't go through there, it's a different process. Okay, the increase is different. If you go into the group, you will see at least one live like this one, or maybe a Facebook live, or maybe a WhatsApp, YouTube, Zoom live like this, or it will be just a Facebook live where I'm talking to people to say, this is what you do if you do this. What do you actually do to request for increase? Even though we're happy to do it, we actually encourage people to do it by themselves. That's why we share what you have to do. It's a request. The increase is a request. It's not an application. It's a request. You have to request for something. It's not an application just like you apply for PPP. No, you are requesting now something. It's different.
Can you assist me to request an increase?
Sorry?
Can you assist me to request an increase for that, for EIDL?
Yes, the first thing we do is to go to the group. You understand first how the increase will work. That means when I will tell you to send some documentation, you know why you are sending documentation. You will not ask you, what is that? Where do I find it? Because the documentation has a link in the Facebook group where you can actually click and access them and prepare them. Then I will assist you with that. Yeah, because if you call me tomorrow, I'm going to start telling you everything that is already posted in the group. That's basically where I am. So the first thing to do is join the group and look at the information. Now say, oh, I look at this information. Yeah, I need assistance on this area. Yeah, basically this is how you can actually do. Yeah. So I think we're going.
I have a question. Last question.
Yes.
Regarding on what you are saying about the increase, those of us that apply for PPP and EIDL that we were granted the loan, is that this time that you are talking about the increase, or if people apply again and their money was less, or what? I don't really understand when you say an increase.
An increase means that you applied the first time, you were eligible for $30,000. You received the $30,000. Now you want more money. Then you request for an increase of another $20,000. Okay. And then they give it to you. That's what the increase is.
Okay, with the PPP, they say they stated a second round, but with the EIDL, that is where we need the increase, right?
Yes, yes. Oh, I understand the question.
And the grant, yes, and the grant of the $10,000 or less.
Yes,
which
or
one
less
applies to?
Exactly. So now I get your question. So yes, on the PPP, they call the first time first draw. Now they're calling this one second draw. Okay.
Yes.
On the ERGL side, they call it ERGL application. Now they are calling it increase. So you just request for an increase to get more money compared to what you received before. And now, if you were not eligible, you were denied, you receive a decline level, you can apply for, you can also request for reconsideration. And I also posted all the component, all the document you need to get together to request for the reconsideration. Now, the big thing here is the 10,000 grants. 10,000 grant, whether you apply, you receive 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000, or didn't receive nothing, or your application was even declined or something, you may still be eligible for this 10,000 grant.
Right.
Okay. You may still be eligible for the 10,000 grant. So yeah, everybody here should pay attention to it. Okay.
Right. Right. I got it.
So guys, I think that was more than 1 hour.
But when you asked me to join the group, but you just told us that the group was down by Facebook, right? What group are you talking about?
I'm talking about the Facebook group.
Is the Facebook group still up?
Yes.
Okay, please send me the link.
Check on the chat. I think I posted the link in the chat.
Can you send me the link? Can you please send me the link directly to my WhatsApp, any chance?
Okay, text me on WhatsApp. Okay. Send me a text on WhatsApp. I'm going to send the link on WhatsApp, no problem over there. So I also send the link of the transaction tracker that all of you guys should use, even for your own business. That is a bonus that I share with every person that comes to my meetings, because I only use that with my customer. Okay. Now, whenever you come to the meeting to say thank you for coming, I share that with you. So use that. If you don't want to do the PPP, then use that to track your transaction daily or monthly. It will help you to know how much you spend. Okay. On the next meeting, I'm going to share the daily one. That means the one you can use every day to make, okay, today I spent $10 on food. You put that $10 right there. That means it adds up everything. At the end of the week, you can actually see how much you spend on food, how much you spend on this, how much you spend on that. Yes, the next meeting, I will actually share this with all the attendees. Okay, guys, I don't see no more questions. It was a pleasure again to be with you to hear about the nonsense that I'm sharing. And I hope you help at least one person. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next meeting, which will be, I don't know, but most probably will be on Saturday. On Saturday or Sunday, we are having another live session, which will be about the remuneration. I think it's going to be about the better compensation for business owner. I told you have to pay yourself, but you have to know how to pay yourself, okay? And how to hire people in your payroll, in your payroll, and help you pay less taxes. I know in one of the meetings I say you can actually help your family member, but we're going to explain even more on that Sunday. Okay, guys, thank you so much, and it was a pleasure. Ciao.
Thank you, Russell.
Thank you, Russell.
Ciao.
All right. I'll call you.
Yes. Ciao.
Hey, Russell.
Yes.
Book me tomorrow, man.
You just book me tomorrow. You know how to do it. I just say, how am I gonna book you? You hear that?
Okay,
that the other guy yesterday said I was already booked for the rest of the month. Yeah, you have to go there and see where you can infiltrate yourself. Right? It's not about me. It's about first in, first serve. Yeah. So go there, and also since you are here, if somebody is here, that's another bonus. You go to my calendar and you see that it's full, but you want a specific time that you want me to be keeping for you. What I will do, I can actually switch some people on my calendar to put them in one of my associates, so I can put you here just as a recognition for you being there to watch me talking. Yeah, that's why
that is what I want you to do now.
Sorry?
That is what I want you to do for me.
Yeah, text me the time then. Just say that I went there to book for 2 p.m., but 2 p.m. was booked. Then I will go there and check, maybe replace someone there. Okay.
All right. All right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank
That's
you.
good.
Guys.
That's good. Bye.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Good night, guys.